Welcome to Marvel Tunes!
In The Legend of Korra Book 1, Air, the story is set in a world where the next avatar, Korra, has emerged. Korra, a headstrong and determined waterbender, has already mastered 3 of the 4 elements, water, earth, and fire, but struggles with airbending. She travels to Republic City to learn airbending from Tenzin, the son of Avatar Aang and Katara. Republic City is a bustling metropolis filled with technological advancements but plagued by social unrest. Korra faces the anti-bending revolution led by Amon, a charismatic and enigmatic figure who seeks equality by stripping benders of their abilities. As Korra navigates her role as the Avatar, she forms friendships with Mako and Bolin, brothers and pro-benders, and Asami Sato, a non-bender. Together, they uncover Amon's dark past and his true intentions, culminating in a high-stakes battle for the fate of bending in the world. Amidst the turmoil, Korra's journey is marked by personal growth, identity struggles, and the weight of her responsibility as the Avatar. In this video, I will be talking about Avatar: The Legend of Korra, Book 2 Spirit, from start to finish, in detail. The story begins 6 months after Team Avatar defeated Amon and the Equalists. Korra is still trying to master airbending, while Mako became a police officer. Bolin is still a pro-bender, but his team is not doing so well, and Asami is trying to make sure her company doesn't go bankrupt. Everyone joins Tenzin and his family to visit the Southern Water Tribe for the Winter Solstice Festival. We are properly introduced to Tonraq, Korra's father, and her uncle Unalaq, the chief of the Northern Water Tribe. Asami and Bolin go visit Varric, a billionaire businessman, to make a deal, which works out in Asami's favor. During the festivities, a dark spirit attacks Korra, but Mako and Bolin come to help her. Everyone try to fight off the dark spirit, but he is too powerful. Ultimately, Unalaq subdues the spirit with a spiritual form of waterbending. Korra decides to learn from Unalaq, despite Tonraq and Tenzin's dissents. Tenzin leaves for a vacation to all Air Temple Islands. Korra and crew travel to the South Pole with Unalaq and his kids, Desna and Eska, in order to bring back the Southern Lights by opening the portal to the spirit world. Korra learns about Tonraq's banishment from the Northern Water Tribe because he destroyed a sacred forest that belonged to the spirits, which led to them attacking their tribe. Korra asks Tonraq to go back home as the rest of them decide to move forward and reach the South Pole. Korra manages to open the spirit portal, one of 2 gateways that controls the flow of spiritual energy between the 2 worlds. Upon their return, they discover that Unalaq has sent the Northern Water Tribe to take control of the South. Unalaq agrees to guard the southern portal while Korra opens its northern counterpart, arguing that doing so will strengthen the bond between humans and the spirits, and it might stop more attacks by dark spirits. While the Southerners fight the Northern occupation, the eccentric Southern tribe locals and businessman Varric starts a rebellion as Northern blockade hurts his company. At night, rebels from the Southern Water Tribe try and kidnap Unalaq, but Korra arrives just in time to fight them off and rescue him. Unalaq and his guards arrest Senna, Korra's mother, and Tonraq for plotting his assassination. After a short trial, Tonraq is sentenced to life in prison, but Korra discovers that Unalaq staged the trial to look fair, but it was actually rigged. She also learns that Tonraq's banishment was also his plan, so he can become the next chief of the Northern Water Tribe. Korra alongside Asami and Mako take Varric's plane and reach the ship to free Tonraq and other fellow rebels. In the end, Korra and gang leaves to seek some aid for Southern rebellion from the United Republic. The gang reaches Republic City, and Korra joins the peaceful protest led by Southern Water Tribe people, but tension rises as the Southern Water Tribe Cultural Center is bombed. Mako, back with the police force, tracks down the criminals, but they escape. Korra and Varric meet with Raiko, the first president of Republic City, but he refuses to send troops to aid the Southern Water Tribe. A conflicted Mako reveals Korra's plan to convince General Iroh to commit the United Forces to join the war to Raiko, so Korra decides to journey to the Fire Nation to seek Fire Lord's help, but Eska and Desna start following her. Eventually, Korra is attacked and swallowed by a dark spirit. Meanwhile, Varric decides to produce an anti-Northern propaganda using motion pictures, starring Bolin. One of Asami's cargo ships gets stolen, so Mako and Asami decide to investigate who stole Future Industries mecha tanks bound for the Southern rebels. Korra is missing and Bolin is busy with living his dream as a star, so they decide to hire the Triple Threat Triads for an operation. The gang gets double-crossed and find Asami's storage warehouse robbed. While on Bolin's filming set, Mako discovers that Varric was involved in the bombing and stolen mecha tanks. Elsewhere, Korra washes ashore on a Fire Nation island. The Fire Sages take her to a temple where they try and heal her. Korra sees visions of her past lives and experiences the journey of Wan, the first Avatar, who lived 10,000 years ago. In his time, people lived on the shells of the giant lion turtles, so they can stay protected from the wild and dark spirits that roam in the physical world, as there were no barriers between the two worlds. Wan lives a life of poverty and hunger, under the rulership of a nepotistic family that runs the city. One day he decides to join a group that is venturing into the wild, so the lion turtle grants them the power to bend fire for their protection, but Wan tricks them and comes back home. He uses his new power to steal food for himself and his friends, so he gets banished from the city and sent into the wilds. Wan successfully convinces the lion turtle to allow him to keep his fire bending so he can protect himself. Wan comes across spirits who doesn't like him at first, but eventually decide to accept him as one of their own. After 2 years, Wan decides to set out on a journey to explore the rest of the world. He encounters two powerful spirits, Rava, the spirit of light and peace, battling against Vatu, the spirit of darkness and war. Wan uses his fire bending to separate the two, allowing Vatu to escape, initiating an age of darkness for the world. Wan finds another lion turtle which is inhabited by people who can use airbending. Vatu shows up, and all the spirits start turning dark and attacking everyone. But Rava appears and attacks Vatu, so he leaves with the other dark spirits. Wan decides to help stop Vatu by mastering additional elements with Rava's help, and prepare for the harmonic convergence, during which Vatu will face off against Rava for the fate of the world. While Wan masters all the elements, Vatu initiates a war between humans and spirits. Wan and Rava enter the spirit world using the southern spirit portal and joins the battle against Vatu. The battle between the two takes place, as Vatu is at his best while Rava is weak, but she temporarily fuses with Wan and battles against Vatu. But the battle doesn't go as planned and Vatu gains the upper hand. Harmonic convergence begins. Wan and Rava fuse together permanently, thereby becoming the first Avatar. Wan uses his Avatar state to seal Vatu in the Tree of Time. Wan convinces the spirits to return back to the spirit world and seals the portals, ending the story of the first Avatar. Korra wakes up and regains her memories, and decides that she needs to close the portals before the harmonic convergence to defeat Unalaq. Korra arrives at the Air Temple Island seeking Tenzin's help to enter the spirit world, but after many failed attempts, Jinora reveals that she can see spirits because she has a strong connection to the spirit world. So Tenzin allows her to guide Korra into the spirit world. Back at Republic City, Mako continues to investigate Varric, but discovers nothing. His apartment is raided by police, and they find evidence planted by Varric, which proves he was involved in stealing Asami's mecha tanks. Elsewhere, Unalaq enters the spirit world and contacts Vatu, who tells him Korra is alive and will come to them. On the other side, Korra and Jinora get separated when Korra's energy upsets the spirits. Korra gets transformed into a kid, but Iroh, from Avatar The Last Airbender, who retired into the spirit world, helps her. Elsewhere, Jinora speaks to Wan Shitong at a library, who surprisingly happens to be working with Unalaq. Iroh tells Korra that she needs to bring light and peace, which eventually helps her regain her original form, and she travels to the spirit portals. Unalaq threatens to kill Jinora, so Korra opens the northern portal. Unalaq attacks Korra, but a friendly spirit helps her escape the spirit world without Jinora, whose lifeless physical body remains in a coma-like state in the real world. Back at Republic City, Bolin visits Mako in jail, who tries to warn Bolin about Varric, but he doesn't believe him. Bolin leaves for his Movers series finale, which is also attended by President Raiko and his wife. During the screening, Bolin, who is missing Mako, goes out to get some fresh air and sees something suspicious. President Raiko and his wife get attacked, but Bolin arrives just in time to save them from getting kidnapped. While fighting the kidnappers, Bolin forces out the name of the person responsible, which happens to be Varric, who is promptly arrested. Korra shows up with Tenzin and tells President Raiko that Unalaq is planning to destroy the world, but he still refuses to send his troops because he needs them to defend Republic City. Mako is freed and is accepted back as one of their own, but then they all turn to Varric to give them what he stole from Asami's company, who agrees to provide them with his personal battleship. At the South Pole, Tonraq leads a coup against Unalaq and his northern tribe army, and finally faces off against his brother. An intense battle between the two takes place, but it ends poorly for Tonraq, as Unalaq is rendered way too powerful for him. Korra and gang meet Senna, who tells them about their defeat to Unalaq and Tonraq's capture. Katara arrives to help Jinora, who is near death, with harmonic convergence only hours away. Team Avatar and Tenzin's family launch an aerial attack on the fortified South Pole, but Northerns launch their counterattacks, which happens to be more effective and powerful, wherein everybody except Bumi, Tenzin's brother, gets captured. Bumi breaks into the camp and through a series of absurdist and crazy luck destroys the entire army and eventually rescuing everyone. As Asami transports an injured Tonraq to Katara for healing, Korra and many of her allies trail Unalaq into the portal. Korra goes to close the portals while Mako and Bolin stop Unalaq, who says he intends to merge with Vaatu to become a dark avatar and rule the world, while Tenzin searches for Jinora alongside Bumi and Kaya, Tenzin's sister. Korra is too late to close the portal and harmonic convergence begins. Vaatu is freed for the first time in 10,000 years. Korra sends Unalaq flying out the spirit world and starts fighting Vaatu. An incredible battle begins and the two use their abilities to try and gain the upper hand, but Korra uses the avatar state to imprison Vaatu. Meanwhile, Mako and Bolin uses their fire and earthbending to keep Unalaq out of the spirit world, but with the help of Desna and Eska, Unalaq overpowers both of them and manages to enter the spirit world and attacks Korra, and successfully merges with Vaatu, becoming the Dark Avatar. Korra and Unalaq then battle each other in their respective avatar states. Elsewhere, Tenzin and his siblings meet Iroh, and he gives them directions to Jinora's location. The twins then set off into the Fog of Lost Souls, a place where people's self-doubt drives them insane. Tenzin almost succumbs to the fog along with Kaya and Bumi, but is saved from certain death by a vision of Aang. With his guidance, Tenzin breaks through the fog briefly, freeing his family, and accepts for the first time in his life that his destiny is different from his father's. Battle between the two Avatar continues as both sides don't have any time to take a breath. However, in the end, Unalaq overpowers Korra and tears Rava out of her body, and continuously attacks Rava, severing the cycle and all her connections with the past avatars permanently. Jinora goes to assist after spiritually sensing Rava's devastation. Unalaq transforms into the strongest, most powerful dark spirit known as Unavaatu and enters the material world with the intention of destroying it. Unavaatu lands at Republic City and destroys all the battleships and Aang's statue. Kaya starts healing Korra and her friends who are wounded and unconscious. Once healed, Korra states that Rava is gone and the cycle is over, so she is the last avatar. Tenzin takes her to the Tree of Time and tells her to meditate. While meditating, she unlocks immense spiritual power that was never tapped before and teleports to Republic City. A battle between the giants takes place, but Korra gets defeated and her spirit is almost contaminated and sealed. But Jinora shows up with a spiritual light, blinding Unavaatu. Korra discovers fragments of Rava within Vaatu. The spirits of light and dark cannot exist without each other, and one will always regrow from within the other. Korra uses spiritual waterbending to purify Unavaatu completely, killing Unalaq and defeating Vaatu. Meanwhile, in the spirit world, everyone defends Korra's body from all the dark spirits' attacks. Korra and Jinora show up, as both of them start disappearing as their spirits go back to their bodies. Rava and Korra use harmonic convergence to remerge as the avatar spirit is reformed, but Korra's link and connections to her previous lives/avatars is lost forever. After giving it some thought, Korra chooses to keep the spirit portals open because she thinks that humans and spirits can coexist and should be given the opportunity. She also proclaims the Southern Water Tribe to be a separate state and an independent entity from the North. Mako and Korra decide to end their relationship and part ways, but promise to stay friends. The world enters a new age as Korra is no longer the bridge connecting the two worlds. If you like this recap, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Marvel Toons as there is more to come your way.